Orders from Lost. We appreciate these mod orders.
Right?
Everybody do as I say or get out.
Oh, careful there, Barry Todd. Careful.
We're going there, huh?
Already.
Bruh.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to the first episode of the Lost Hour podcast, a name that was chosen by the content creators in my Discord server, so I have no input into that somewhat. But yes, I decided that I wanted to do a podcast, and I wanted to do it with some of the content creators in my server, maybe some upcoming ones that want to join in, etc. And, just talk about some of the stuff that is going to be coming up, some of the stuff that happened in the previous week, and of course, we can't miss out on those lovely hot takes. Gotta have the hot takes in there. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to the first ever podcast, and welcome to the people who are with us now. There will be a few more people joining us here in just a bit, but we do have Simply Found, Simply Cated, and Simply Lord in here. So, hello, Simplies. I didn't know I had other brothers and sisters and all that crap.
It's cool. I was told that we're a cult, so
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I remember that comment too. I didn't know that we was a cult. Are we a cult? Apparently, we're a cult.
Oh well, I have my black hoodie on. If you guys want to take a look at that, but
Okay, and I got a black shirt too. Damn it.
Well, thanks for inviting. I do appreciate it. You tend to invite me to a lot of your events, and on top of that, hello. I voted for Cosmo Canyon. Apparently, we're going with the Simply Hour, however. So here we are.
Yeah, and I mean, we could actually no, we can't technically change it. So I mean,
No, we cannot.
no, we cannot. So this is the first episode. I was gonna stick to it. So the Lost Hour podcast is here. You guys are going to lose. No, I'm not even gonna put a pun in that.
Oh my god! Already off.
Already.
Grandpa jokes. All right. Papa
But
Lost is over here making jokes.
I know. Oh, damn, too. And I'm a dad as well, so I can make those jokes, but they are so they're cringe.
Simply daddy.
Simply
Oh,
daddy.
no.
Oh.
Simply
And no,
Daddy.
please don't encourage this.
Already.
So, but welcome everybody. Welcome Nico, Ragnarok, Final Mog, Scorb, Kaisis, Theologica. Hope you guys are having a good Sunday. I know I chose the perfect day because I didn't know that Super Bowl was going on today. Shows how much of a football person I am.
Fine. I was playing Sekiro before this.
I was definitely taking a nap.
I couldn't care less about football.
But you're not from the States, so I don't think it don't matters, right?
Yep.
Yo, that's offensive. There's two forms of football, by the way.
Yeah.
What? The football and the football.
Yes. Yes, that is true.
Add in that
Careful.
Spanish accent, like el football and the football.
I mean, at least you know. That just proves that you're a man of culture. There you go.
Yes, I am a man of two cultures, but but anyways, though. So yeah, we're gonna start off with talking about the content that's dropping tonight, which is going to be Transcendance 7. Who's excited for that? I know you're excited for it.
I guess because I have the nickname Mr. Tactics, not because Final Fantasy Tactics, but apparently I have very, very weird planning out. Yes, I'm definitely looking forward to this. Transcendence 7, I was told, was very, very defense happy. I wonder how well it's going to hold up against my debuff. Oh, this is going to be fun.
What about you, Simply Look, Navarre. Damn it.
Simply Found.
Oh, look who decided to wake up.
Morning.
Morning.
He doesn't
You
have
have nothing to
coffee
say,
much, but
too.
yeah.
What?
No,
I
I
like
was
how
awake the
cool.
entire time. It's just
Wakey, wakey, sunshine. How you doing?
Hey, I'm awake, okay?
Oh, you were sleeping. I was right.
No, I wasn't sleeping. It's just I didn't see the pings.
But,
Well,
He was playing
going on
Lost Ark.
to T7. I'm fairly excited. Locke was a BT unit that I was looking forward to. So, despite getting Garnet, I'm still excited for Locke. So I'm still planning to pull tonight, and the fights. I've heard some things about them, so we'll just see how they go.
Yeah, for what I remember on JP, I didn't use lock, and I didn't use him because I didn't have enough resources at the time. But I went in with Leud, what was it, Firion, and Noctis, and I did pretty well in that fight. You know what's funny is I don't think I had Ultima weapons equipped either, because I think I was focusing on Greatsword, if I'm not mistaken.
The classic Zach ban, and before Zach got his BT, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I didn't know like who was gonna. Well, I mean, it's JP. Who? When do we actually know what's coming out?
True.
Sure, it's not like it's not like I talked to other Discords or in a very, very important Discord or anything. No, definitely not. Let me not portray my feelings here. Go for it, please.
Nah, but the Transcendance though, it's not. I mean, at least for me, it wasn't too bad of a fight. I don't think so. I mean, you guys can be the judge of that, but like in my opinion, it wasn't that bad. Especially with not using lock, so I kind of feel like that gives me some bonus points, right? Maybe.
Yep.
Totally, 100%. That gives you bonus points.
So, but if I can find the correct info on these imps, let me see if I can find it here. Let's see. Yes,
I think a lot of players are just going to be happy that it's not Divine Shiva.
That's very true. That's very, very true.
You can say that again.
So the fight, it's a 60-turn fight. They each have 15 mil HP. God, if that was in JP, we'd be slapping that in like one turn.
Yeah.
Brave, there is some brave damage reduction between 70 and 80%, which is the amount that's getting reduced. Same goes for a brave gain as well. The player's actions get ticked by 2 this time, so you definitely got to be especially careful with that. Defense Ignore is highly recommended, and I'm actually reading this off of Tonberry Troops, so shout out to them. So Defense Ignore is highly recommended. I mean, if you don't have Lock, there are a few other units that do have Defense Ignore, and if you're able to support them, then I think you'll be just fine. The HP requirement is low, but bringing a healer call would be good. They do have a HP poison aura, which is pretty strong, so you definitely got to be careful on that. So, and there's a few other things. I mean, check out Tombe Troop. They got all the information on that on tier 7 for those who are just trying to prepare before it releases tonight. They have everything you guys are needing to know for that. So again, shout out to them for all of the info. So me myself, I'm gonna be pulling for Lock this time, and I wanted to be that guy who wanted to go ahead and just use Garnet and Lock, but I feel like that would be overkill. So I may actually just bring Lock in this one.
Just slightly overkill. Not a lot.
Yeah.
Just slightly overkill.
Slightly. Yeah, slightly.
I use the word slightly in a very, very awful tone.
Yeah. I mean, someone's bound to do it, right? Someone's gonna upload a video. Lock damage test with Garnet and Louis.
Lock damage test.
Listen, it'll be like 3-minute kill, Lock and Garnet working together. It's just 3-minute kill, man.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the situation. A win is a win. If you're gonna take it, take it. Like I'm fine with whatever. I'm not trying to victory shame anybody. If you're going to use them, if you're going to invest into them, invest and crush things with them. I'm all for it.
Oh yeah, I mean you just do whatever you got to do to get to win. That's all what I've always been saying for God knows how long now. As long as you get it, that's all that matters. As long as you get the win, I mean.
Oh, be careful there though. Winning is everything, but apparently self-respect and pride also comes into that territory too. But we'll see.
I didn't know there was pride in this game, but okay, sure, let's go.
Hey, it's a single-player game that deals with team cooperation, but apparently, you put one character in there that's just a little bit overtuned, and it's like, nah, the other two are irrelevant.
True, but like, I mean, if we had PvP in this game, which God, I hope they never do that.
Oh God.
Then I can understand like the whole pride thing, like, haha, I won, but yeah, that's not happening.
I wonder how many of those teams would have 8 in it. Never mind, forget it. Sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, screw rate.
I was gonna say, if we entertained this, like some characters would be banned off the job.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
What about you,
Shadow
Law?
would be banned. Eldnarsh would be banned.
When's the last time somebody even used Elnage?
CL.
I actually used Elnarsh for one of the stages that we had recently for the Equinox setup.
I think I
Right,
used it recently
gotcha.
in one of those.
I used
Um,
Eldmarsh around tier 4. One of the I think left gate or right gate. One of
Oh, was it the one against
those. The Scorpions. Guard
Yeah,
Scorpions,
yeah.
It was a long fight because Eldmarsh.
Because
Right.
Elnage.
It was a long fight because Elnarsh.
It was my only source of the orb where it's range attack. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh
was a
yes,
long
I know exactly what you're talking about too.
Thought it was
I use
ranged
Elnage
in
as well.
crit, though. I thought
On the
that
flip
was ranged
side.
in crit, no?
I think so.
I could have swore because I seen a lot of people run Kefka Arnea in there, just the HP silence them and just have Arnea just run rampant. Or,
Yeah.
like I definitely remember ranged in crit in that fight. I think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Baron.
was ranging crit.
Like
Since
Baron.
the yeah.
Yeah, because
orb
Barrett's
was
LD
selling,
came out.
Barrett
Of that.
LD came out at the time.
Right.
Copium.
Okay.
Copium.
Copium.
It's okay. I will be a happy blue Barrett. I'm one of the people who did blue him, and he gets a
Damn.
lot of off-turn screen. He gets a lot of off-screen time. I would like to give him more screen time, but it's just like if I do give him more screen time, depending on who I put him next to, people are gonna be like, "Oh man, he did great," or "Oh man, he got carried." So it's like it's pick your
Oh,
poison at this
man.
point.
Easy.
Blue Bear. Got to give the shout out to BC.
Yeah, the blue.
Yo, not dropping those avalanche stacks. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. All right. I didn't see that.
You're never gonna give that up, are you?
See, that's a
That thing
good
was
thing. That's a good thing. Yo,
Yes,
what
moved
makes you
on
feel
from
like that's a
there.
bad thing? That's
I'm
a
not saying
good
it's a bad thing. I just find it funny you always bring it up at least like once a month.
No, it's not
boy.
once a month. I swear it's not once
What
a
have I
month.
done?
Look, listen. I just enjoy it every single time because every single time that he's used Barrett, he's like, I don't want people to say losing them avalanche stacks, but like I enjoyed his Maria's runs when she was using Maria too.
Put him up.
Yo, what's up, Cross? How you doing?
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
shout out to Cross. Historia Crux. Time to plug
Shout
Historia
out
Crux.
to
Shout out to the,
The goon-
HC
Oh my
and the last
The
episode they
HC.
had. That was beautiful.
the Goon Crux.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
That episode was definitely. the
I
Goon
loved it.
Crux.
That has to be my favorite one so far.
Oh boy.
Shout out to Alpha
It was quite something that episode. Yeah.
Oh boy. Careful there. The word usable is a trigger offending word there. Be careful, guys.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Look, everything
Shout
is
out to
fine as long as
Alpha
they.
but
Big
I think
shout
it's
out to Alpha Note.
yeah. But I think the main topic was going back to it. But the main topic was definitely about Transcendance 7 and how everybody's making preparations for that. No, I talked about it, and I know that Simply Found talked about it over there in the corner.
Well, we
That's me.
But Indo and Founder, like, what are you guys thinking about it?
So, okay, go ahead, Flounder.
Flounder.
Go ahead first.
the
if you want.
fish.
Flounder.
No, well, I guess I'll go ahead then. Well, my topic or not. I'm already starting off wrong. Okay.
What? My
My-
topic. My topic.
My thoughts on the stage already. Okay, leave me be. I feel like overall we have the units for it, so it shouldn't be that difficult.
Mhm.
And with Flock coming out tonight, which caters with some of the orbs, so it'll be nice. But I'm still debating on who to run there. I know Luck is definitely going to be there because I'm going to green his ass, so he'll definitely be in those runs.
Oh.
But
Oh,
yeah, with the
I love how Lord just unmutes his mic. He's just like, oh.
oh.
We just forgot the my, but all right, go ahead.
No, yours is the professional radio voice, like, oh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Listen, guys.
My ears got blessed on that one.
Yo, the show is about us, not about me. But you will.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Oh my god, why did they even bother?
Oh boy. Yeah, why did
One
you
hour.
butter? But okay.
Anyway,
hour of
moving
it.
on. Indo, you're up.
And we know who you using.
So
Let's
much
do
as
the first.
as much as possible, I'll try to not use Garnet. That'll be a
You can
chat.
say that with the straight face.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I still have Machina and Barts to use for BT units, but I'll also try to not use any BT units on this Transcendence because this Transcendence fight is nothing like not as difficult at all as tier 6 and not even as difficult as say tier 5 from what I can see because yeah. I don't care about the left and right gates because they're just Lufenia difficulty stages. And as for the Reckoning, they don't have AoE HP damage, but they do
Mhm.
have this party aura. The party aura where they reduce your HP every time. So yeah, this fight is very demanding of healing, as well as they're very high defenses. I think it's like 200% or 300.
It's
One of
something
those
big.
things.
Yeah, it's something big.
Fairly high, yeah.
Which is why most people would bring, just like Founder here, they would bring Locke because Locke has this busted
Because he's a sweat.
party.
On top of
yeah.
He is a sweat.
On top of being the synergy BT unit and having defense ignoring his kit, there's that
Yeah.
too. But yeah.
Yep.
That,
yeah.
that's what
I was
the
gonna say
sweatband is
that.
on real tight with lock.
I was
But,
gonna
oh well.
mention that. As well as the demand for healing, because I know there are JP players as well who would like really bring call abilities that heal so that they
Mhm.
will reach the what's it called, the HP requirement, because this fight always reduce your HP because
Yes.
the aforementioned aura.
Top of
So
that, it's part of the orb. So
with that in mind, brave gain comps are probably the most recommended for this fight, or just bring Locke and Garnet, I guess.
Mhm.
As for me, I'm undecided, but I wish to bring 7 because this is tier 7 and sounds schematic.
That's adorable.
Okay, I would definitely like to see
yeah,
that.
that's respect. I
That's
appreciate
good
it.
luck with
Exactly.
that. I respect that entirely.
and then I'll bring Garnet alongside.
I mean, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I can't wait for the YouTube thumbnails to start saying FEOD Transcended 7 full
7.
clear, no Garnet.
No Garnet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
You're gonna see that
I remember-
everywhere.
Hold on. Remember, you gotta add it.
Everywhere.
You gotta add in the timestamp. So.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Not the
everywhere.
timestamps. I'm sorry.
So-
Let me hold on. Let me correct myself. You gotta add in the time of the length of the fight in your title to make it legit.
Oh, right. Speed clear, all caps.
6 minute
Okay.
fight. Yeah, no Garnet.
A 6-minute fight, no Garnet.
Six minute fight, no Garnet, and the party
Yo.
is lock.
What's up, Sky? What's up, Casey?
And then I
What's up,
bring
Sky?
Machina. Yeah, what up? And or I might bring Machina.
Look,
No Garnet, but a triple BT run anyway.
a triple BTT now, dude.
Oh,
Curious.
we really saw in there.
Yeah.
Oh, for
All
sure.
the
For
way.
sure.
You got to go the whole 9 if you're wearing the sweatband.
yeah, just like what Navarre said, I'm looking forward to the no Garnet on the on
Oh,
the
boy.
title. That will make me not watch your video.
Yeah.
That would
But-
make you not watch your
Hold on,
video,
but what if I say that I didn't run Garnet in the video or on the title of the video and on the thumbnail, but then when you click on it, you see Garnet.
As a
Oh, that's
call?
clickbait.
Sure.
That's a call.
Yo,
Good
you
job.
Garnet as a call. Good job. Because I think
I
Sideways
know.
did a video where he posted a video and it was Leon in the team, but it was like,
Yeah, and he
no, it
used it
wasn't
as a
in the
call.
team. It was a call.
He
I
just
like,
kills
I
the boss at the end with it.
No, Leon.
Damn,
Yo, Leon
that's an insult.
participated. He participated.
Damn.
Oh, he
Oh,
didn't
man.
even kill the boss. He just used it, and that's it. He was there in spirit.
Yo, he participated. That's what matters. At the end, that debuff was on. He participated.
He gets a participation prize.
Everybody needs to get at least one.
Oh
He was
boy.
on the fight. He was on the fight.
That's true.
No,
Yo, wait till
no
they play
friend
it about-
unit.
No,
Or you
no
could just-
friend unit?
Or you just put like in tiny text like that they wasn't in there.
Oh no.
They
Read the fine
definitely
print.
help.
All of
The
it.
fine print.
I mean, people don't read, so including myself sometimes. But, you
Oh
know.
my.
Oh no.
Ham.
I'm not gonna pretend like I don't read. I mean, like I have my moments where I don't read. So
Oh no.
Ooga booga BT go ham.
yo, somebody asked in chat though, do you guys imagine the player character from 14 to ever be a thing in Opera Omnia? I think I'll let you answer this, Kaden.
All right, FF14 count.
It's
All right, here we go.
14.
We're at one now.
One. Tag
Being-
one. Go. Uh, so with that being the case, it's going to be very hard for them to actually implement the actual Warrior of Light unless they actually had put in like the actual like Warrior of Light from like the trailers. So they have to put in like Arbert to some degree. If they did bring him in, then it would just be like he would just be his warrior variant. I don't imagine that they'll put in like his bard variant, the dragon variant, the samurai variant. My God, he got a lot of variants. There was a monk. I'm trying to figure out like there was there was the Dark Knight version. Please insert a Dark Knight somewhere that is not
I
Dark Knight.
mean, I would not be opposed to that.
Yo, but like either way you look at the situation, if they were to incorporate it, would definitely be Ardbert because he is one of the Warriors of Light that you spend a lot of time with. But it's very hard to implement him. And if they did, it's like what type of skills would they give him? And Warrior has a lot of skills. I would hate to see like an inner release coming from him where he automatically does crit damage, or he hits rainbow damage depending. Like Warrior has a lot of different stuff, and if they were to include Arbert, into the game, like I see what they did with Lise, I see what they did with Y'shtola, I see what they did with Yida, I've seen what they did with Thancred. Like you can see what they did with every character that did come over, but like you have to pick really good skills. Then you got to pick an EX and then an LD, and at some point in the future, there's going to be an FR for him. And if he doesn't get a BT, I would be massively surprised.
Oh boy.
But like there's a whole lot to play when it comes down to them implementing characters. In my head, anyway. That's how I looked at it.
What's up, Terry? How you doing? What's up, Diaz? Why not Dark Knight 10-2 Kaden does not count?
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh
All
boy.
right, listen. As a Dark Knight main, right? Like as a Dark Knight main, I appreciate all things Dark Knight. I appreciate the story behind it and it willing to do justice, even when other people find that justice to be very, very brutal. Justice can be done at any time. But with that being the case, like some Dark Knights are not really Dark Knights. Some Dark Knights are just very, very edgy armor who hold like a very, very weird shaped sword, and they're just like, yeah, I'm emo. No, you were just like you are like a Batman knockoff at best. But I appreciate you for trying. There's some there.
That was an attempt.
I'm just gonna sit here and say this. I appreciate 10-2, and 10-2 has shown me that Kane is a very, very lovely character in 10-2. She doesn't say much, but when she says you want to get hurt, I respect that. But
all right then, we just learned something new about you.
Listen, no, don't make it creepy. Don't make it weird. Look,
It was bound to happen.
The question was about 10-2 Dark Knight. 10-2 Dark Knight looked good on mostly Pain. I didn't really like Yuna's Dark Knight and Riku's Dark Knight.
Batman knockoff.
Batman knockoff.
I'm just listen.
Who's Riku?
Well, she ain't coming for another few years.
Now,
We're going with that one, huh?
That's a real good question.
What's up, Yoshi?
Oh boy.
Yeah, someone entered the party as well.
It was
Welcome.
Yoshi Pasta, the Arden Saga King.
Yo, the Hobo Jesus. I appreciate that.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's go.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But not every version of Dark Knight played true to it. There's some Dark Knights that were just like very weird in how they wrote them in, but they're really, really good detailed Dark Knights out there. I do appreciate them.
Final Mog asks, isn't Pain technically Dark Knight though due to Dark Sky?
Yo, listen. Look, listen, if we're gonna do that, then Burning Rave is a fire attack.
I was just about to say that.
Oh my!
Yo, listen. Look, Dark Sky and Black Sky, however you want to put it, man. It's just a hint, man. Just because there's dark in the name does not mean that it is an actual dark elemental skill.
I remember seeing that, and I could not stop laughing, thinking that because it says burning in the ability command, that automatically means that it's a fire attack. This ain't Pokemon.
Same Pokemon.
Look, listen. I wonder how the Phoenix could be holy damage, but apparently, it's healing. It's healing incorporated like in the Phoenix, like the rebirth. So it's like I get that you're raising your party members, but you're also damaging the enemy at the exact same time. But that Phoenix is clearly using fire. But you're saying it's holy damage. I guess holy flames count as a thing. I don't know. Look, it's not my job to figure that out. If that's the case, Lox BT should be holy damage. But what do I know?
What do I know?
It could be weird.
Everything will be holy now.
please don't lock out holy damage anytime soon. But like if you see a name, like if you're seeing the name of a skill, it should just look at it and just take value in the name of the skill. If it has an element attached to it, perfect. They just oh man, so many things wrong with that statement. Anyway, moving on. Next question.
So what are you guys thoughts on the global first abyss that we got? Like what are the Perfectum that we got, where we're able to basically make the fight to our needs, pretty much. Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
Oh boy, Crevasse.
I liked it. I really liked it. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was well executed. I don't think people expected to see some of the bosses that ended up making a return in Crevasse and also in Perfectum, which to me added to the fun of it. Because we get new toys, we have stronger characters in our kit, so for some people like me who have nightmare fuel on those freaking parrots from tier 2, I was happy to see them again.
I'm glad they would.
I could deliver the most righteous revenge ever. So I had fun with it.
I was glad that they won 250, because if they were the 255, I would have been so pissed.
Oh, I would have been ready. I would have thrown everything.
Oh yeah, I would have thrown like every single OP character that I got going on and slapping some bird cheeks.
I would have already used Garnet and Machina in that same fight anyway. Just to demolish it.
Oh my god, I can see that we got a couple of people who are triggered by those parrots.
I'm triggered by T6, but that's besides the point.
Look,
Those
parrots,
staying there for the rest of the match.
I have history with those parrots, and I would rather not relive that history, which is why I'm happy they came back, because I was able to, change that. So now I don't care about them anymore. I got revenge.
No, I got revenge when they come to global, but in JP, my god.
Oh man.
That was not fun.
So
Dissonance Sonata was nightmare fuel.
Oh boy.
God.
So for me personally, I really wish that I would have started off with during talking about Crevasse. I really wish I would have started off with the higher stuff, because I did the lower side first, then worked my way up, because I was just like, I'm just gonna get the trash out the way and then move to the higher stuff. So I used all of the better the team situational builds in the lower section, and you can't go back and override them. So it's like, oh my god, I got very, very mad because I kind of messed myself over a little bit trying my best to get to the end game, and it's just like, all right, it's just the last 4 Lufenia. Like I can definitely handle that.
Yeah.
In the last one, I feel like it just ended up hurting me a lot more, because a lot of the ways that I could have built my score, and I could have built my score even higher, I used like the 3 great swords in the lower one when I could have probably put it in the upper one, and I would have got more points for it. So I didn't have an issue. I just messed up the score system for me personally. 'Cause I think
Yeah, I
walked
did too.
away
I did too.
with like
Same here.
600. I'm sorry. I think I walked away with 368 total, and I was
Gee.
just like, man, I should have thought of that better. But like you definitely should have gone to the like you should definitely do the harder ones first and work your way down to the easy
Yep,
ones,
yep.
because
that's the
whatever's
best way to do
left
it.
you can just like pile them on. But I was just like, okay, well, lesson learned for next time. Do the harder ones first, then go back and do the easy ones.
Yeah, and thankfully this is like a beta type thing, so we know that this is gonna be coming back later on. But of course, there were the hot takes for this event. Oh boy, the hot takes for this event was crazy. People were pissed. I remember one hot take where somebody was saying, "Man, this first he started off with saying that this anniversary was trash already because they thought that that for Square Enix to throw this global first abyss to us, for us to organize and put everything together, was just their lazy way of just starting off the anniversary." I was like, what?
What?
Oh boy.
But it's Garnet BT, the best GL firms.
Oh, okay. And
Nah, people are mad about
I
that.
can't.
your favoritism is showing just a little bit. Just a quick heads up. But I definitely think when I've seen a couple of the takes on it, though, speaking about the takes I did see, there were a couple of people who were like, why would you make fights where you lock characters out? Like, why would you do a roster check? Why would you make some of the fights ridiculously restrictive?
Mhm.
And it's like some of the fights weren't even restrictive in the slightest bit. Some of them allowed you to really, really run rampant. Like for example, the Transcendance 2 bosses, like they were Lufinia. And if you didn't bring a healer, you could delay them to infinity.
Yeah.
Like they never got a turn. So there were multiple ways around that. Like Bane pretty much wrecked shop for me there just because of the fact that like he doesn't really do anything except break the target and keep them back.
Mhm.
And he did a very, very good job at that. You can put Garland in there. Garland can easily delay them all the way back. Like you didn't necessarily need for them to get a turn. However, the orb that you put in there is kind of what made the fight hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who didn't pull for Garnet had a tough time. I'm not going to say that they had a tough time, but one of the
Because
orbs
they were
was
mad.
one of the orbs was deal water and thunder
That's their
damage, and a lot of
fault.
people.
That's their fault.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. It is their fault, but
The damage, I think it was like 400k in one turn, something like that.
it
Yeah.
was 500k. Like you have to do
500K in one turn.
You have to
Yeah.
do 500k in one turn.
Yeah.
So,
What's up,
a
Roscoe?
lot of it isn't necessarily a bad thing, but there's some people who really are just trying to hold out for their favorites. And like if you're a brand new player starting off, Corvus was rough.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah.
a brand new
That's
player
definitely
just starting,
rough.
like that's hard.
Definitely.
But there's some veterans and there's some hoarders. I know for a fact there are some veterans and some hoarders that I've seen that was just like, man, like why could I do this? And it's just like, just reevaluate your team comps, because in every situation, like you can control the orb, you can control who you put in there. Like you
Yeah.
have variety of that, and I think a lot of people made it a lot more unnecessarily hard than it should have been. You can control what you put in there. Like you control how you want to do it. And at the end of the day, getting 300 points is the main objective. Get 300, walk away, be happy. Like you got everything, man. Like if you're trying to flex and you're trying to be like, oh, I got the maximum score, that's nice. We appreciate you. You sweat. Like we appreciate that. But you know, not everybody's trying to do that, and then everybody has a life to live. You know, everybody got to go to work. Like bills got to be paid.
People gotta
Like,
touch grass.
just 300 to walk away.
Touch that
300 to
grass.
walk away. That's all I can
Touch
say.
that grass.
Just get 300 to walk away.
Nah, yeah, no, I didn't think the fights were like all like at least for me. But I mean, I'm a veteran, so I mean, like I'm kind of limited to saying this to other veterans or players who have been playing for like at least over a year or so, who have a good roster of characters. But like, I enjoyed what they were trying to do, trying to be a little bit different, and I really hope that they continue in either improving or maybe changing up some stuff that we can, I guess, like quote unquote, be the beta testers, and and beta. No. And
Katie joined it too.
I didn't do that. That wasn't me.
that was Lord, I think.
That
was Lord.
Lord?
Yo, you can't tell the difference between me and Locke, bro.
Best deal.
Hey.
Yo.
Yo. Ain't you not trying to put me on the spot right now, hey, yo?
Listen, no, it's cool. Lard, welcome to being a fellow Barrett. Thank you very much.
Welcome to DFFOO, Barrett.
Yeah, I hate big corporations.
Big corporations.
Big corporation.
But there was something else because you asked about both Perfectum and a bit the Crevasse and Perfectum.
Yeah, I guess I mixed them up. I mixed up the two. I mean,
Okay,
don't
that's
judge.
fine.
Don't judge.
But I did enjoy Abyss a lot more than I enjoyed Crevasse because Abyss had everything already preset, so I did appreciate that. But one of the fights made me laugh really hard. It was the Kate Sith Mission Dungeon Ghost.
Oh yeah,
The launch immune one. Yay!
And it says launch the enemy in order to build the orb, but it's like, wait, but the boss is launchable. So I was just
That's
like,
the power of copy and paste.
that's a copy
yeah.
pasta.
So
Yep.
not only did I do the fight, but I did the fight with Agrius because I was just like, well, you're gonna get Agrius real hard. So I put Agrius. I think I'm trying to remember like which colors was it? But I think it was green and
Green and
green staff, and then green staff, and that's it.
It's literally
So-
just green staff for the last few.
So I put in Agrius, I put in Agrius, I put in
Zande.
Tice, and then I put in
You put in
Garnet.
something.
No Zande, I swear. And I like
But he's OP.
we didn't do anything until the main ghost showed up, and I just nuked him to death because it had every
yeah.
debuff in the world on him. He had Chris Ame's debuff, he had Agrius's debuff on him. He jumped up, he was paralyzed, he couldn't move. VT phase going out. Like I made sure to nuke him. I just was like, nah, it's cool. It is what it
This
is.
is what we call debuff supremacy.
Like people judge me real hard when I say debuff supremacy, but I enjoy my debuffs. And I made sure that boss got blown up from start to finish.
Mhm.
And
I'm about
it
to say,
was just like, hey, that's cool. I can't launch you, but I'm gonna blow you up though.
if you watch Kaiden's videos, like best believe you're gonna see at least more than 4 debuffs on the enemy, because this man is debuff supremacy times 100.
and the entire team caps. The entire team caps. Not just 2 people, but the entire team.
Trust me, we all are debuff supremacy, especially especially after Equinox. But we'll go into that later.
Oh
Yeah.
no! Please don't remind me of that Equinox, please.
What did you have
No,
trouble?
I will.
I don't have problems with it. I just the fight where I wanted to put my favorite character in was literally debuff immune, and my character literally does debuffs. And I was just like, well, I gotta have to rely on other people to do the thing.
Don't you love when the boss literally goes and says immune all?
Yeah, but at least
Yeah.
he wasn't like elementally immune. Like I appreciate that. Like they left some room for error or like some room for damage. I appreciate that, I guess. And on top of that, those bosses did not have a lot of HP. But let's stay on
But
top.
we're in the C90 era where we slap things left and right so easily.
All
Look
right,
here.
Look, listen.
Dude, I remember.
Shut up,
doing,
Kaiden. I know where you got that reference from.
No, he said, "Look here." I just said, "Look, listen." So, moving on with
Dude.
my life, man.
if you know what we're talking about with that "look here, look listen" reference, props to you. You've been an OG YouTuber for God knows how long.
You got nothing else better to do.
Nothing else better than do.
Oh man.
Dude, I remember when we were talking about it on Historia Crux, and I was reading off like the bosses, what the orb conditions were, and like the immunities.
Yeah.
And the one fight I was like, all right, so immunities all. And, like the VC kind of went quiet for a sec, and then I forgot someone asked like what do you mean all? And I'm like, all, like it just says all. Like,
Everything.
That
know-
was me.
literally
You know what I
almost
love?
everything.
Oh boy,
man.
what I love the most is that literally 4 or 5 fights I see, and literally it just says immune all.
Right.
So it's like, oh boy.
Oh.
Well then,
No, do you remember
you-
when Alice's LD came out and there was a fight where like they
Oh,
was
no.
immune to basically all of the elements that Alice's has, but you can still use Alice in that fight.
in the
You
It's
know,
absolutely crazy how many characters rely on debuffs, and now it's just a part of the design.
Yeah.
Yep.
Reminds me of
Yeah,
these
they
list
did that.
states too, where the orb is catered towards Alice Hay, but it resists like one element and it's weak to the other element, and it's just like you see resist and weak in the other one, and then resist and weak in that one. It's like it's weird.
Yeah,
so
it
one
was
of
a
the
little odd.
mobs. So one of the bosses, you were supposed to use her white mana section on, and the other boss, you were supposed to use her dark mana section on.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's like you have to alternate in between the two. But I just
Yeah.
brought Alize. I brought for that fight. I brought Alize, Chantoto, and somebody else to control the requirements at that point. It was just like, all right, there we go, we're done.
I used Core, Zande, and Lightning on that very boss.
Zande.
Lightning.
Zande. Zande,
There you go,
Lightning, and
Zande.
Core. It was hilarious how well it worked out because I brought Alice's LDCA just as a backup, but what ended up happening was simply because of Zande's party enchant, or rather how the orb works, as long as one of the brave hits satisfies the elemental condition, the rest doesn't matter.
We appreciate
So yeah, so what ended up happening is that Core just kept boosting their damage because his damage kept being counted as like Zande's and Lightning's, so they kept ticking the orb up individually.
Oh, okay. Huh. I think I just straight DPS that one.
That's what I did. I used some calls and summons to cover the elements for the orb.
Mhm.
I do recall using Cloud of Darkness there. Just LD Cloud of Darkness. And I think Ishtola and somebody else. I don't remember the third.
Yeah, I forget.
It was
who I
pretty
used.
fun.
I still have to finish like 2 fights of that event actually.
Oh my god, man! We were
He's
about to
slacking.
go into Transcendance 7 tonight. You're like, I still got 2 fights to finish.
It's 2
Well-
fight. Those are easy. I'm just lazy.
The content,
1
that's
hour
the content
later.
creator cycle, man. That's
No,
just
we
what
can't even do
66
crit orbs.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yo, sorry for the blood. Moving on. I think the main thing, though, I don't think we got a chance to ask Endo when he ran for his Perfectum and like which fights that he had an issue with, and I think that we missed Navarre too. So definitely can finish up with that though.
Yeah, because we got some hot takes to talk about.
Oh, Lord.
I'm sorry, what's up? I missed something.
What did you guys like? What was you guys' favorite fight, and which one was your worst fight in Perfectum? Like the actual Abyss.
Perfectum. I liked. I'm gonna be the odd one out. I actually liked them bringing back the Kate Sith mission dungeon boss because it kind of attends to my point earlier, where like we get new toys to beat these bosses down again. So I had fun, giving them another knockdown. So I'm glad they brought some of these really hard bosses, like the Lail Sharks. I don't think anyone expected to see them again, but it was cool.
Yeah.
We'll see them again
Oh,
in
right.
Hell, I
Transcendance
didn't
in the
expect
future.
the Hot Wheels. That's
yeah,
for sure.
no one expected the Hot Wheels either. So seeing these bosses come back and then seeing that we're getting new toys to combat them was like really cool.
Fuck the parrots.
So
Them shits
always.
Oh, I think everybody has said it.
I got my revenge. Forget
Oh,
those
boy.
birds, man.
Never again.
But yeah, that's about it for me on that one.
What about you, Lord?
I think overall I like this Perfectum Abyss. A good reminder that Square wants to remind us all about the very fights that terrorized us back in the days. But hey, we can power stomp. We can power creep them now.
I just let her brought back all the PTSD bosses.
Yeah, PTSD
Look,
bot.
as long as the
That's one way
mantises
to
are
put
out
it.
of it, I'm good.
I also because I think one of my pet peeves with the Crevasse beta was the Lufenia plus fights were mechanically very meh. They're very easy to do. The fights weren't challenging on Crevasse beta, even though it's understandable that they pick like the mods, the CPUs for the Crevasse beta because it's a beta. It's a testing ground, so I can understand the why the difficulty of those fights aren't that hard.
Garbage
Meanwhile,
time.
yeah, garbage time.
The doo-doo's
Fucking garbage time.
Oh boy.
Meanwhile, the Perfectum event where it has I'm glad that the Perfectum event brought back the mummies because I kind of enjoyed their gimmick where you have to bring the ads down.
Yeah.
And aside from that, they also added this new layer of it where you have to do like if I remember correctly, like 4 HP dumps. Yeah, or was it 5?
5.
I
Oh,
forgot.
five.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, five HP numbers.
Okay. Because yeah, a lot of characters can accomplish that 5 HP dumps, and add more to that when core can help other units to reach that.
Yeah, I
So-
thought that was
Chase,
pretty cool.
Chase
Mhm.
HP attacks also add to that as well.
And summon attacks actually.
Yeah.
Well, look
Yeah,
at that.
shout out to Sid Reigns.
Shout out
Shout
to
out
Sid
to
Reigns.
It rains, oh boy.
So yeah, overall, I'm glad about this Abyss Perfectum. My only complaint, I guess, with Abyss Perfectum is that the chaos fights are just made the experience such a slog. I could care less about those chaos fights. I guess they should have lessened the amount of chaos fights. It's just filler. It's just boring.
Well, it is Abyss after all, so they have to have some filler in.
Yeah.
Okay, so you say that, but then once we go into the Equinox, people did not like the filler in the Equinox because in the Equinox, I believe they brought back the snakes. And the snakes
Yeah, I know.
was put 4 debuffs on them, but they're dangerous with 4 debuffs or more. So
Yeah, I was about to say that. Like, why?
Okay, I
I
have
don't
a
know.
pretty good idea as to why they did that because here's the thing.
Questionable design.
Because here's the thing: not only are they old fights, they didn't like because the levels determine their stats, and they weren't like level 250, so everyone could just generally power creep them. So then they just put on really annoying mechanics so that the fight would be, more quote unquote challenging.
Mhm.
And then because also the same fights that we had in the Equinox, you could cheese them way easy. You could even cheese them back then. Because like for example, the snakes, as long as you didn't bring too many debuffs, they didn't get all the stat boosts from Shed Plus, so they made you have to deal with Shed Plus so that it was harder than what it actually felt that it should have been.
Mhm.
Right.
then they made the fatal mistake. Garnet friend existed. Oof.
Yeah, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
I think
Yeah.
I definitely think that being able to take friends, like overall, just like lessened the blow.
That was not a
Abyss
mistake.
fights.
That was
No.
not a mistake. They let that shit happen on purpose so that everyone have a reason to pull Garnet.
Yo, like,
Yep.
listen, all right. So to challenge it, like to challenge myself, I call myself trying my best to do the snakes without a Garnet, like a friend Garnet. I like friend Garnet just destroys all of those fights, right?
Yep.
Like you didn't even need to participate as long as
Yeah.
friend Garnet was there. All that you just need to move was 5 turns before something blew up. That's all you need to do is just wait 5 turns. And I called myself trying my best to no turn them because I ran in that fight for the snakes. I ran Caius, and he automatically fulfilled the war requirement of 4. Like I would have put Kadash there, but it was like I need to put him in the higher fight. But I ran. I definitely know I ran Queen next to him, and then I had Kate Sith on the other side. So just to make sure that everybody was being able to hit hard, I switched out Queen for friends or the twin friend, so I could really just rain down hell on them. But at the end, they got very, very tight because the moment you put that 5th debuff on, you go for hitting for 4K. Like I was hitting for 4K with Caius,
Mhm.
and he was hitting weakness. 4K with weakness, and he just like the 5th debuff applying made it go from 4K to doing 1K. Like 1 debuff difference, man. That stat bonus is ridiculous. And then on top of that, you actually have to break them. So that's usually I brought Kate Sith in to where Kate Sith can break with his LD effect, and then I had Null and Thrago as calls for Caius and for Kate Sith as well, so I could try my best to make sure that I wasn't using Garnet. And I did manage to complete the fight, but I completed that fight, and it was very, very painful trying to do it because after a set amount of turns, they're going to do Shed. And it's like, oh man, you only got a certain amount of you only have like a certain amount of force breaks that you can do beforehand. And it's just like get it over with. But
Yeah.
I think I ended up hurting myself more than I thought. Just bring Garnet as a friend, just get it over with.
That's what I did. I bought like my no, and then I just bought a friend on it, and I just slapped. I didn't have to worry about
man.
anything.
Those snakes, I saw a lot of Reddit posts talking about snakes. Why would they put an orb where you have to have 4 debuffs on and then but they're dangerous with 4 debuffs? It's like, oh my god, guys, relax. You have Garnet friend, just blow them up. But it's like some people don't like playing the game. Some people just like a very easy time or have very easy wins handed to them. And
One
it's like
trick-
ugh.
One trick that I learned is that if you bring Caius to the fight, because Doom only lasts 2 turns, while Doom is up there, it'll keep ticking up the orb. But if you let Doom expire right before they hit an HP threshold, because they shed at HP thresholds, if you let Doom expire right before they do the HP thresholds, they'll do the regular shred. And then right after that, you can put Doom back up and then repeat the process. So you can actually keep 4 debuffs on for the most of the fight while having one of the debuffs fall off right before they do shed. But no one really talks about that because no one really pulled Caius.
I mean,
True.
I pulled Caius, and the best thing about Caius is
I had
his
Caius
BT
too.
effect. Like his BT effect made the snakes a whole lot more manageable. If you have his BT, that is, because at the end of his turns they just auto break, and so they just go back into another shed. But your next character should be able to break too, so you should definitely bring breakers or force breakers to guarantee that you're going to end up getting rid of that. Because that shed mechanic is horrifying. Oh my god, man, that shed mechanic is ridiculous.
Fucking nasty.
So Cross had a question that he wanted to ask everybody. He said, "Do you have an LD unit you pulled for but never bothered using because of how they play or other reasons?"
Setzer.
A lot.
That's
A
her.
lot. Setzer.
To be honest, I pulled for him a while back because like everyone was like, "Oh, the cheat code and whatnot," but I just pulled him because I wanted to see rainbows. I wanted to see the Skittles.
Taste the rainbow.
Taste the rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
And then
Yeah,
court game.
and I never bothered using him after his release, and it's just like, oh, he's just sitting there.
Why break rainbows? We could just
Yeah.
stack defense naturally, get the same results.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
By the
pretty much.
professional words of Kaiden.
Yo, that is, I keep telling people this, but people are like, nah. Like the bosses, our defenses are too high. And then I
Yeah.
remember when Gladiolus' Lost Chapter came out, and I took Cypher, I took Shantoto. When she got her early, her early C80, I think. I think it was her Noctis, and Terra, if I remember right. And people were like, you can't do that fight without Setzer. And I'm just like, okay, Shantoto says otherwise.
People did that
I
fight
mean, okay, sure.
without Setzer, so
Like, I guess for me, to answer Cross's question, I feel like Setzer was probably the only unit that I pulled that it was just like, I'm just going to save him for a very painful situation where I just really need to do it. And I just never found a very painful situation.
Yeah,
like,
you
I
never
just
Yeah, I
worked
didn't, yeah.
around it. And it's like, when I had people who were like, you're not going to be able to do certain fights with your Saga character, like you're going to need Setzer for it, and I never ended up using him. I was just like, yeah. I've been told repeatedly that I would need him all the time if I'm going to do a Saga, and I just never needed
You
him.
need the
ever.
rainbow.
yeah,
Rainbows.
everyone at the time was like, Setzer's the new Saga enabler and whatnot, and nobody ever used him. And then now we have this global first BT unit that is actually the Saga enabler. So yeah, we have that now.
Oh my god! But just like if just to change it up and just to be different, if I can think of another LD that I got and I just never ever used, for me personally, I got Zonde when he first showed up, and I never used him. Like I just found myself struggling to put him in team comps.
Use him
Because-
in crevasse for the mana
And-
point.
and-
Wait,
and Abyss.
hold on.
Abyss
To be
had a
fair,
lot of use for him.
to be
Yeah.
fair, once I
Get
did
them
Divine
max
Alexander,
points.
or wait, I think
Go for the 428.
so. Once I did Divine Alexander, that's where I actually got the most out of him. I appreciate having Zonde at the ready for that. Like that's the prime example of having a weapon and not need it versus needing it and not having it. I appreciated that because with Zonde in the team, I was able to hit and take care of it without using any key strategies or just straight up, like I just straight up handled it with Aerith, Zonde,
Yeah.
and Lightning for that. So it was just very easy for me to handle at that point. I really wish that I could have said that I used him more, and I really think that every character has some place in the team. I'm still trying my best to find a place for him, but it's like it's really hard to put him in the team. It's just very, very hard to place him. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very hard to place him. It's just very, very hard. Maybe it's just my team building experience, or maybe I need a lot more work. But
You need to be more
for
open.
me personally, it's just
You can hold it.
look. I try my best to always. I try my best to always be reasonable, and I always try my best to see what a character can do, so that way I know what they can do and what they can't do. And with him, I know that he can work, but the amount of team like team building that I would have to do in order to make him work is very, very large. It is not like he's not like you just put him in a team and he just goes. Like that is not how that works.
Excuse me.
I think
Let me go.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Let me dial it back real quick so I can answer Cross's question. This one's a little violent, but the one LD that I pulled and I barely used was Noctis actually.
That's gonna be same. Yeah. Same as
Yeah,
well.
I
Really?
only pulled Noctis just for the cycle and the challenge quest, mainly for Divine, for Odin.
Mhm.
And the challenge quest, because everyone knows how much of a pain that was back then. That was the only reason I pulled Noctis. I have no attachment to that character at all. So after his cycle finished, I actually ended up selling his burst and never used him again.
Oh my god, that's tough.
I'm
man.
sad.
Base.
I'm
Okay,
sad.
Base.
High key based.
Very.
His,
Don't worry, you're still my friend, Navar.
Oh, I know I am.
It's like I got blackmail on you.
I sold Arden's burst too.
oh my god, man.
Oh
So-
boy.
So for me, a character that I pulled but never used, Aiko.
Oh my God,
Exactly.
you literally
We
just
can
got
all be in
that.
universal agreement with that info.
Wait. Are you talking
Yeah,
about
true.
JP experience or global experience? 'Cause I
I'll have to say
literally just put a
JP.
video out.
I'd have to say JP, yeah. Just because, like,
How about
the
global?
mechanics sounded good and all, but, you know, I was like, where do I put her in a team when my teams are just fine? I think
The
I'm
thing
good.
is that, like,
I
even
don't need to
now
revive.
in global, when you like pull her, you really just like think about it and just like you pull her and you get her LD, you build her. It's like, wait, where am I ever gonna use her?
Exactly.
It's like you have a moment of realization, but you go off of the hype that has been surrounding her like cheese mechanic for months now and months, and you're just like, oh, she's finally here. Let me build her. As soon as you build her, you regret the decision and you think, why did I do this?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And it's just like,
Especially if you pitied it too.
Yeah, it's been with that for like a lot of months now for a lot of
Yeah,
things
'cause-
like Sensor, Echo, like all these like that.
Yeah, because I think there was like 1 or 2 BT units that I pulled for NJP that I had to pity, and by the time I got to the pity, I'm like, man, am I really gonna use you? I'm gonna have to now because I pitted you.
Oh my god.
I will force myself to use you in a team. Another LD that I never used was Leon.
Oh, I
Even
used
though like
Leon
I
a
used
lot
him for
off
I used
screen.
him for
Oh, man.
once, for one event, and
Yeah,
then
I
I
might
never
have
used
just
him
used him
ever
a few
again.
times.
That's it.
Like, I really wish, like, for me, I really wish that Leon was a lot more consistent. But for
Just
me,
play
like, I've
JP
used
for him.
Leon. You're right. I should just play JP. But for me, like using him in global, I found that Leon can definitely be used in a lot of situations, especially if there's going to be non-elemental attacks.
Mhm.
Leon comes in and crushes. Like he absolutely saves. If you put Leon in the Gator Transcendance, the 250, the one that we just recently got, and if you don't have Garnet,
Mhm.
like even when they do their all attack, guaranteed you're gonna have no problems eating that with Leon in the team. However, you need to bring damage to support him. Like, you definitely need to bring damage to support him and keep him healthy. And Leon's damage variants change if he's not at certain HP value, just like how Furion does as well. So you definitely
Yeah.
have to keep Leon healthy. If you're going to be running him, especially in a no debuff fight, he can definitely handle the all skill for you. But Leon is one of those units that I feel like he came out at an awkward time, but if you did pick him up, he did serve his purpose, and I believe that he definitely has served his purpose for me on screen and off screen. He definitely has done that.
VO. VO's like, yes, play JP. Come and beta test with
Come
us.
and beta test with us.
I was going to say for earlier, if they were to just keep giving global like JP variants, but they gave it to us first just for us to test it, then give it to JV, but like give it insane properties, I'll be for it. But like if I were to go to JP, I know that my knowledge of the game, I should be able to be fine in it. I've definitely proven that time and time again with helping a couple of JP players actually getting through certain fights. But I guess in this case, I like being able to understand what's going on, because if I see a text that I can't read and it's like it's a fight that nobody else has done, it's like, oh, what did you just say? Let me pull up Google Translate real quick.
Pull up Google Translate real quick.
Uh,
Oh boy.
so it says, "Don't
That's
get
why we're
hit."
beta
Got
tested.
it, got it. Don't get hit. I appreciate, and I definitely stand for everybody who played for JP, because you guys are the real MVPs. You guys go out in uncharted territory and try your best and try like to make units that you like work. And if they can't work, then
You
you
know-
ultimately find a way around it. Like that's true hard work.
Next podcast, next Sunday, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have the few people who have been global only that's just recently started playing JP for anniversary come, and I'm gonna let them talk about how their experiences have been so far, especially now with Shinryu era going on JP, like how they feel about it. And because a few of the content creators who may have not mentioned yet that they have started playing JP have beaten some Shinryu fights. So it is very much possible for those who are still like debating, should I play JP, should I not? I mean, it's still a good time. We're about to hit like part 2 basically of anniversary tonight with Transcendance 11. So it's definitely not a wrong time to try JP just to see if if it's something that you want to do.
I've seen cross playing JP, and it's just like,
I was surprised on that too.
yo, cross playing JP is a wonderful experience, because when I'm watching cross play JP and he pulls Tifa.
Sells it immediately.
Tifa, sells it.
I don't
Sells it
know.
immediately.
Incredibly fucking based, to be honest.
But it instantaneously goes, and it's just like, core is fun, Caden. And I'm like, you just figured that out? Didn't we get core first? Like, core still being used.
He should have been specific, like JP core is fun.
JP core is fun.
Just core is fun in general.
I want my extra dump on global.
So there's a lot of characters who got a lot of rework recently, but the most recent addition was Arden, and I feel like he got a lot of unnecessary hate.
Oh my god.
And I'm like,
Arden.
oh man, like he actually does, like he's able to do a lot of damage with his FR.
Well,
My
not
God.
according
My
to
whole
some hot
gripe
takes,
with
but
that-
you know.
My whole gripe with that, I am so annoyed with it because I started playing JP recently, like Lost said, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. And I maxed out Arden, had all of his kit. He has helped me through all of Shinryu that I have been able to beat, and he is such a great character. But the one gripe about it is that everyone keeps on comparing him to the recently acclaimed character Tifa. Does he do Tifa damage though?
Let's talk about this. So let's talk about
this, please.
So we're gonna end off the podcast with the Tifa hot takes, because apparently for Tifa being a single target character, it is all that you need to unless they pop out with, let's say, a AoE attacker that does as much damage as Tifa. So whenever these new the characters got like their reworks, the C90s, like take example like Arden, right? Literally, not even 5 minutes after the showcase was shown on Twitter, there was one hot take that I seen. Oh, they're not doing Tifa damage. They're bad. I'm not gonna pull for them. Skip.
Oh boy.
So
Nah, they're not human beings.
Yo, so what are they? No. By that logic, what are they?
They are human beings. Oh my
Simps,
god.
they are.
They're Sims. That is true. They are Sims.
Oh no, man. Okay, well, besides being a sim, I think that it comes down to patience, and it comes down to how you really use the character. Because the one video I saw of Arden being able to solo Transcendance 10, where a lot of people have said that fight is very, very hard. Don't get me wrong, every single character that they release after the initial event has been strong enough to where that they can help you go back and clear content, or like older content. But to see that Arden can solo it by himself needs no help. I'm just like, wow, that is impressive. And don't get me wrong, like just because a character can solo something does not necessarily mean that they are all that great. Because apparently, if you solo something with Jagron, that's still not that great. But I think it speaks more towards the character, or the player's character, the player's character understanding. And the actual understanding or the intricacies that it goes within the character, like they know a lot about it. So it speaks more to the character or the player's strengths To
Mhm.
see that he is able to do something that has been notoriously known as been rough, uh, that has to be something to that. But a lot of people are looking at it and they're looking at like these major numbers being put on the screen, and it's like if you see all nines across the screen or across the screen, it must be good.
Yeah,
And it's just
exactly.
like, yeah,
But
I
people, the thing
really
is though,
wish.
like one of the things that I do wish Square Enix would actually put a little bit more effort in is definitely going to be those showcases they release on Twitter, um, because like they don't really show like the full potential. Like all they're doing is just throwing in the synergy characters for that event, and that's it. So you're really not knowing like the possibilities that said character can actually do. And like for example, Arden. I mean, like Arden, regardless if he doesn't do the Tifa damage, still is very much a good viable character with what upgrades that he got. So people saying, or I guess the few people that are saying that like, oh, he's not doing the Tifa damage and everything like that. I mean, it's not always going to be about damage, because like people don't realize that when it comes to the Shinryu fights, like there are reductions. You may not see them in a lot of these runs that gets uploaded to YouTube, but there are definitely some reductions, and a lot of players are definitely going to realize that once Shinryu arrives to global, and then people are going to be like, what the hell?
Yeah, because
What the hell?
because the YouTube showcases that a lot of the YouTubers do, they are already accustomed to this era, and they are already accustomed to these Shinryu fights. So they make it look easy since they already know the mechanics in and out. So since they've been playing it so much, so once you learn about them for the first time, you actually do the fight for the first time. You get hit with those reductions head on
Yeah,
as soon as you get in.
yeah.
Like immediately when you get in, you get hit with them. You see that you're not doing that much damage. That you have this character fully built, that everything max boards and everything, and then you see the reductions just hindering your damage, and you see, wow, this stage actually has reductions. I didn't know that. What am I doing different from this video? And then you see the way they're doing. They are already accustomed to it. You are not.
Exactly.
That is another
Like
thing.
they're accustomed to setting up. They're accustomed to potentially not even letting the boss act, because they just go into burst phase and just straight up destroy him. Like there's a lot to it, but of course, like people, I honestly feel like a lot of those specific people tend to have like those excuses of like, or have an excuse whenever you actually throw facts at them. So it's like facts, excuse, facts. It never ends. It's a never ending cycle.
Yeah, it's a never-ending cycle, but it's like people don't like think about it and realize that those same YouTubers that you watch at the same time, they were at your point at one time. They were starting out like you. They were at your point, but they learned about the fight. They did their research. They built their characters. They played the game,
We were
and
the
they
beta
actually
testers.
like were the
Nah,
beta
they did.
testers. Yeah,
did the
in a
first
sense, you were the beta testers.
They're already good the first time.
I mean,
What do you
like the whole
JP is
thing-
really just global beta. That's all that it is.
JP is
Beta!
Oh
Beta.
my god. So even on that
It's a chain
notion,
reaction.
Always.
even on that notion, there are a lot of people who have said, like Renoa, talking about Renoa coming up. I've
Oh.
seen one comment in Lost video saying that Renoa doesn't do nearly as much damage as Tifa, and I know Serial is just rolling over right now, just going LOL. I was certain Serial is literally just screaming at this point, like, man, he can't wait to get his hands on her, just so he can really, really like run her through her paces. Again,
He wants that BT.
like it's about understanding the character, and if you don't understand what the character does, of course they're going to look bad because you don't understand what the hell you're looking at. Like I think of things all the time. Like I see people all the time who say very, very awful things, and it's just like, do I correct them or do I not correct them? And it's like, no, it's not my job. It's not my job. But then there's very, very awful takes of this character is weaker than this character because we have it going on right now in global of Locke being weaker than Garnet, or if you have Garnet, you don't need Locke. Different things going forward. It's like it's almost like we don't believe in diversity anymore. It's kind of like there isn't going to be that one unit that does everything, because if there's that one unit that does everything, goodbye game. I can literally just take this one character and just carry them all the way going into the future. But
It's the
like,
Aranea hot takers.
like it's literally just like when you call Arden a support, it's one thing, right? Like that's
Yeah.
very, very awful, and I'm never gonna let that shit go. Like when does Arden turn into a support? Whatever. But like the fact that there are characters who have BTs and who are strong in their own right does not mean that they can't work well with another strong BT unit. It ensures that everybody's going to be able to hit hard. And I understand that, yes, that could be overkill, or yes, that could be something. But as a new player starting out, if this is something that they want, if this is something that they're trying to ask for help about, if it's something that they need, or if it's something that they need to be recommended, like Garnet is something that I would highly, highly recommend because of just how much he's able to do. And Block is something that I would recommend just because of how much he's able to do. Like, either way, look at the situation. Garnet cannot heal unless you're using her EX and you're using her LD back to back. And it's like, man, if you're using her LD back to back, but some fights don't
Easy.
last that
Give
long.
her
Like some fights don't
Theodore
last that
Spear.
long. So it's like,
Yeah.
like there's multiple ways around it, but either way you look at the situation, each character has their strength and every character has a weakness. Everybody does, in this game in particular. C90 corrects a lot of the weaknesses, but you still have weaknesses all the same. And I really, really want to put emphasis on this. Take time to research your own characters, because there's a lot of people who are out there who are spewing all types of misinformation about certain characters. Some characters they get right, or it's just a universal meme at this point. Like it's already universal that Zonde gets C90 and he still needs help. but for those who use him, like congratulations, guys! I'm very, very happy for you guys because you guys got C90 and you guys are going to be doing a little bit better. Hopefully, he's going to be everything that you want him to be, but he still needs help, just like how everybody still needs help to do things.
Want to know who doesn't need help to do damage and doesn't need ores? Jegrin.
Oh boy.
Okay, all right. So besides triggering people, I just really want,
and never escapes.
Like in this case, I just really, really want everybody to understand like what unit does what. So that way you can understand that you don't need to compare units if you can combine them that work together. It is not a PvP game. It is a team synergy game. And if you can find a way to stomp something, and if you can keep the orb in check, like if you can keep the orb in check and not die, it's a win-win. like if you can find a way to kill the boss in 5 turns and you didn't struggle, even better for you. But that may be for you, but not everybody's going to have that easy time with it, especially with new players who just started during the 4th anniversary for Global.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that a W wet, but everyone likes to just stress. You got to clear everything as best as possible, and if you don't do that, your character or your team is bad, and you should feel bad. It's crazy.
I've seen some people say if you can't get max score on Crevasse, it's a skill issue, and I'm like, I just want it to 300. So
I just want my resources.
I just want the resources at this point. Like, I'm like, I guess in this case, if I can't get the full max score on it, whoops. But that doesn't speak to my ability as a player, because I can definitely still do fights and fights that people struggle with. And namely that one fight, I did not mind Divine Chiva at all, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. I've done a very, very weird duo run where there people are like, "That's impossible." I guess in this case, I made the impossible possible. I'll keep it up. Thanks, Lightning. But it is what it is.
Jeez.
Yo, she did the best quote ever. We live to make the impossible possible. I appreciate that.
Theological would be so proud of you.
Yes, I hope Theo's watching. Shout out to Theo. But until then, though,
So
I'm just a hardcore player.
Oh, Theo?
Oh man.
Just like oh boy, I love it in the knights in the crevasse, the level 250 plus.
Oh yeah.
Somehow, I made Machina hit for max HP cap damage, and he was hitting for 1 bravery. So the entire time, I have a video of it too. The entire time he was hitting max cap every single hit, but he was hitting 1 brave attack, and they were just dying like that.
Well, so
It's like, oh boy.
I think you just need to get good.
I
Bro.
just need to get good. What do you mean? What do you mean?
The real question was Garnett in the team.
Of course, Garnett was in the team, but
Okay, so there
nonetheless,
you go.
Garnet and Lude, look how
I
how
still
good my
think I
character
could do
Okay,
it even without Garnett.
Lord is
but
very
I also
happy that
wanted
you
to
use
do
him.
it. I still think I could do it even without Garnett, but I just wanted to test it out in that fight too, since the RNA and Knights are notorious for their defense.
Yes, they are. Because once they get Phalanx on, you have to either not let them get another turn, or you gotta wait till they go through red orb for them to lose all their defenses at the end of that.
Mhm.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, I guess we're gonna go ahead and close off the podcast. So, any final thoughts from you guys? Oh, actually, no. Before we do, Endolord, you need your 5 minutes of fame with Garnett and everybody else.
Okay.
So it's less than an hour before Locke's BT banner is about to begin, and well, Garnet's BT cycle is about to end. Probably the saddest time of my life that I've come to the realization that great things must come to an end.
Oh my
Just leave
god.
with your W.
So I cannot believe it. I can't believe I live in a timeline where Garnet is broken. And probably this is the
Lucky,
best.
you lucky.
People
You
are
so lucky.
bathing in the global first being good.
This is the best GL verse ever for me at least, and Squex can't top this ever.
Remember, she was bait.
The only
She
way.
was bait, and we all took it. So,
Yo, I pitied.
Also,
I pitied, and 4 other BTs showed up. I so. Yo, I felt that hard.
oh,
man.
that-
Let's see.
hey, you got like what, 15 tokens there? That's fine. I'm joking.
No, I'm
That's
going to
awesome.
have 50 tokens
Easy
today,
BT
but I'm gonna have an
tokens.
additional 20 tokens later.
Oh boy.
Oh, man. Already halfway to another BT pity. Go figure.
Hell yeah, let's go.
saving my BT tokens for Gilgamesh. Y'all gonna
Oh,
see
boy.
it. Y'all gonna see.
Gilgamesh.
I'm not trying to start off something, but I feel like there's gonna be a big controversy between that character when his cycle
Why?
comes.
I
I don't
hope
know. I
not.
just feel like there's gonna be a whole bunch of skips, and there's gonna be a few amount of people that are gonna be like, yeah, I'm pulling him. I
You
just
know what?
I just have that feeling.
I don't even doubt you because here's the thing, right? Because I looked up Gilgamesh runs in Japanese and translated Japanese.
Mhm.
Literally, no one runs this dude. I looked up Gilgamesh in Japanese, specifically searching out for like the Japanese only players who don't speak a lick of English. They don't even play this good, and it blows my mind considering the fact that he is a DPT with a lot of utility wrapped up in one button. So I just need to show the world what the truth is.
Well, you know what? I will share those
You gotta
videos
do
for
it
you.
yourself.
No, I think one of the things that might bug people from not pulling him is the fact that his LD changing his HP attack to one of the 3 attacks, being a little bit of RNG might deter people from that, and I've noticed
Skill
that.
issue.
Good part.
Skill issue.
Yo,
That's the
good
thing, right?
part. What do you mean?
It's like he has RNG buttons on his HP attack, but
Look,
they're
yeah.
all good
Oh, good.
buttons.
They are.
Look,
But you know how it is, man. People don't like
people are
more
scared
RNG.
that
yo, listen. I watched Stimpy do a run with him, and Stimpy got the delay sword 5 times in a row. Oh
Yeah,
my
it's
God.
very
gotcha
RNG.
in your gotcha.
Yo, that was funny to see him get the delay sword 5 times in a row. The bosses just disappeared from the turn order. It was just Gilgamesh and friends. That's all you saw. Man, dude, that was funny.
So, I think we'll definitely save that conversation once we get closer to the Gilgamesh cycle, because I feel like that's definitely something that I feel like we should probably talk about, because I'm definitely curious to see what my viewers and what the community is going to be thinking about with Gilgamesh, like if they're going to pull for him or not, et cetera, et cetera. So, founder, any founding no.
founding thoughts? Okay, then.
Any closing thoughts? Shut the hell up.
Hey, you started this joke, okay? Yeah. To be honest, this whole anniversary has been a blast. It has been a really, really good anniversary. We got the BT unit
Yes.
that is broken and will be broken for a long time. So yeah. And then we got the three global first events that have all been fun, even though the bosses have been annoying as hell, but
Hot
it has all
Wheels.
been fun. And it more than anything, content.
Content.
All,
Gotta love the
which
content.
we all want.
And
Content.
Garnet.
And Garnet.
Garnet. Yes, yes.
And
We can't
Garnet.
forget that, Lard.
What about you, Neko? Any closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts: one, I don't know how much y'all pay attention to JP outside of the people who do play JP, but like if you actually take a look at Garnet's kit in JP, it is quite literally a copy paste. Same amount of dumps, same amount of like effects and auras
Mhm.
that she has in Global now, and the only thing that's different is that Global has the BT and
Yep.
JP has the Force enhancements.
Yep.
So they really, really decided that we're gonna make it super easy for all of the skill issue players in GL, and I'm honestly happy for I'm honestly happy for everyone that relies on Garnet as a clutch, because even though they're probably gonna have some issues with team building later on when Garnet stops working,
Mhm.
at least now they can finally have fun with the game, and of course they're gonna stop complaining about the game, right? Right?
Doubt it.
That's a big ass doubt.
Other than that, man, I think that they did a pretty good job with the anniversary, and even though they brought back a lot of the PTSD bosses, it was actually pretty interesting to see how much easier they are to handle, despite the fact that they made the bosses even harder.
Mhm.
So I really do think that Joshua and then all the global team did put a good amount of effort into it, and considering how everyone really appreciated Crevasse, I think that they're going to do this again. So
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Definitely feels good to be playing this version of the game more than everything else. And of course, my boy Ramza coming out in March, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Navar? Simply Found?
Simply Found. I liked both the events. I think this was a great burst cycle. Garnet being broken. The fights were fun. The events were fun. Good luck to everyone who's pulling for Locke tonight. And remember, you can run Locke and Garnet in the same team. You don't have to run one or the other.
It has to be one or the other. You can't play both.
No.
Hey, I
Same
never
unit.
thought of that.
Same unit.
Poggers.
Thank me later.
Wow. Holy shit.
Thank me later.
Kind
Take me later.
Yeah, but beside that, fun all around. So I hope the second half of the JP anniversary will be fun, and whatever else happens in global, I'm sure it'll be a fun time.
Time to suffer more. Anyways, Kaiden.
How's the best way to describe this? My closing thoughts is to all the people who say that Garnet dies off in Shinryu. I'm gonna have to type this in chat so that way you guys have like written statement of my
Yeah,
thoughts.
we got the
on
VOD. Don't worry.
We need a screenshot of it too.
Let me
you
run
go.
Garnet
That's
on
how I feel
Shinryu.
about it.
LOL.
That's how I feel about it.
LOL smiley face.
That's how I feel about it. Like, because I've seen a lot of people say that she dies off and she's not going to make it. She's going to just be the worst thing ever. I'm just like, okay, she's viable. Like she was viable in JP to bring her for earlier Shinryu. She didn't have a BT then, but she has a BT now. So my thought process to it is, do your own research and definitely don't believe everybody. If you know what you're doing, you're good. Just know what you're doing.
Cool. Garnet Simp.
yo, you can call me a lot, but the next half of the global anniversary, if it's Beatrix BT,
Oh, no.
I'm gonna go swipe every card possible.
Hold on. I didn't know you was a Garnet Simp. Hold up. I was asking Lord.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were talking about me. My bad. I'm sorry.
I'm like, wait a second. What just happened?
I'm sorry.
The tables have been turned.
You are Lord as well. All right, the jig is up, guys. I'm also Kaiden Cortez. I also like Kadaj.
I was just like,
Okay, for real. Closing thoughts. Best GL first. So far, best BT cycle as well so far because it's ultimately a roster check, and I liked it. I was able to use some of the characters I love, but didn't have the chance to use, such as Reno. So yeah, that's
But
all I have.
but
And thank you for having all of us lost.
oh,
And happy 4th anniversary.
for sure. By the way, Cross
agree.
said, guys donate to Indoor Lords GoFundMe as he needs a Garnet
Shut
costume.
Donate
Don't-
now before the costume goes away.
Uh-huh.
It goes away
Donate to
literally in 30 minutes, guys. It goes away in 30 minutes. Donate now.
Hey,
If you donate to Indolent Lard's GoFundMe, it's just gonna go to Garnett's,
Here.
OnlyFans.
How about this? Somebody send a super chat. Somebody send a super chat with $37 and I'll buy Lord his costume.
No, no.
He's like,
no.
no.
Don't do this, please. You only have 30 minutes.
I'm kidding.
Don't
I'm
do
kidding.
this.
Don't donate anything to me. Yoshi, final thoughts.
A fun 4th anniversary. I had my fun poking fun at people. Saying they didn't got the unit they want.
Yeah, I just see what you posted too.
I know you're in that pool.
So,
Yeah, that's it.
my final thoughts. Anniversary has been pretty cool so far. No complaints aside from the big brains. I think you guys can guess who I'm talking about. And hopefully with Transcendance coming out on both versions tonight, things will be pretty fun, and we get to see some more hot takes for next week's podcast. So for those who are wondering, because I did see a few people ask in the chat, yes, we are doing this as a weekly thing. Most of the time it's going to be on a Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There might be some times where it could be on Saturday, but more than likely it's going to be on a Sunday. I just happened to choose this Sunday where Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl. Okay, that's a new word.
The Super Bowl, where Super Bowl actually hits, which I completely forgot about. So yeah, great start. But either ways, this will be like a daily Sunday thing where we just cover content that's coming out later that night. If there is something coming out, content that's happened the previous week. So next week we'll talk about Transcendance, how things, or how the fight was in general, and just a whole bunch of other stuff. And of course, we get to look into the lovely hot takes. So,
Oh boy.
Yo, if you see a take, post it so that way.
We got-
Triple T
I'm about to
can
say,
have it.
I'm okay. So for those who don't know, I do have a Discord server. So I will make a channel to put the hot takes if you guys want to put that hot takes for us to cover next week if you
Yo.
want. So
Yo, keep it somewhat clean, please. Because if you see something really dirty, don't do that. Keep it clean, please. Thank you.
so
This is a
but,
Christian
clean.
server, by the way.
Definitely wasn't a Kingdom Hearts reference.
Oh no!
but
Wait, can we turn this off now? I think we're breaking topic.
We broke that a
Happy
long time ago, but yeah.
God,
Happy
great.
fourth
I'm gonna
anniversary.
get copyrighted.
Kingdom Hearts
Yeah,
now.
for industry.
But anyways, hope you guys enjoy the first episode of the Lost Hour, and hopefully we can see you guys here next Sunday. Maybe with the same people, maybe with some more people. We'll have to see. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for coming by. Good luck on your pulls later tonight if you're pulling for Locke and or Fabian. And that's gonna be it. So take care, guys. We appreciate it. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
Bye. Y'all ugly.
I like